Another week goes by and Australia's survivor, Andrew Giles, remains the Immigration Minister. I mean, here we go again. Just when we thought he could not get any worse, he drummed up a fantasy drone program to monitor detainees and was caught out lying about it. I don't know who is more dangerous, the criminal detainees or Andrew Giles, still in charge of the portfolio. How many more stuff-ups can he get away with? And that's on top of his extensive CV. You'll recall his failure to put proper procedures in place ahead of the High Court, releasing 150 murderers, rapists and pedophiles from immigration detention. Of course, his disastrous Direction 99, which has allowed convicted criminals to escape deportation. And look, it just goes on and on. As I said last week, he really is the ultimate survivor. And today he fronted the cameras looking as white as a ghost, like a deer in the headlights, as he announced a new ministerial direction to replace Direction 99. It's now called Direction 110. So it's the same minister, the same old Giles overseeing it, with a different direction number. It doesn't fill you with much confidence. Watch him here refusing to concede. He's made serious errors which have put our community's safety at risk.
Do you admit that it was a mistake to elevate a person's ties to Australia as the primary consideration to Direction 99?
Connection to Australia has always been treated quite seriously by decision makers.
Surely the fact that you're now rewriting this direction, issuing a new one, admits that that Direction 99 was wrong.
What I'm saying here is that we need to give a very clear signal to decision makers.
Why can't you just admit that the old direction was a mistake or you were poorly briefed? Why can't you just say that?
Well, I'm saying that I'm taking responsibility for putting in place a direction that sends a very clear signal.
You may be saying that, but wasn't it a mistake, that direction?
Again, the advice we had around the direction has not been reflected in AAT decision making.
He's really struggling, isn't he? I mean, not even an apology there. As I said, same minister, same issues, different direction number. And it just keeps getting worse and worse. These foreign-born criminals are having a field day. Multiple convicted criminals let out of immigration detention as a result of last year's High Court decision have tried to use Andrew Giles' Direction 99 in an effort to escape onerous curfew and monitoring conditions. The Australian has found at least 5 instances of the NZYQ cohort, including a convicted kidnapper, a sex offender and a repeat domestic violence perpetrator, securing favourable decisions from the Administrative Appeals Tribunal in recent months. They're seeking an easy life here in Australia, and in strolls Giles with the golden handshake and a welcome mat. But his drummed up drone program to monitor detainees really is the tip of the iceberg. Here he was on Sky News last week.
There is $250 million that we've invested in supporting our law enforcement agencies to enforce that. And that's enabled things like using drones to keep track of these people.
It was a laughable prospect from the start. Imagine drones buzzing above homes of detainees 24/7. But then it all just came tumbling down.
Last week, in an interview on Sky News, I did state that Operation Aegis was using drones. I relied on information provided by my department at the time, which has since been clarified.
It was all a lie. There were no drones, and he blames his department. Giles has been spinning rubbish, and he's spun more today.
I relied on information provided by my department, and I've clarified that.
Who gave you that information in your department?
Information was provided to me by my department.
Who?
I've since clarified that to the Parliament. Thank you very much.
On another matter, have you
extended your job, Minister, over the winter break?
Off he trots. He's done. Didn't want to hear about it. Didn't want to know about it. Nothing to see. Senator James Paterson summed it up perfectly.
Imaginary drone programs monitoring detainees that don't exist. Well, he's got to take responsibility for his own public hallucinations.
And clearly Anthony Albanese is hallucinating himself, keeping this bloke in the job. Yet he survives another week.
In 2001, I was a small part of a legal team that acted on behalf of the asylum seekers on the Tampa.
This involvement, more than anything else, led me towards seeking election to this place. The location of every individual in this cohort is known. On this side of the House, we trust our law enforcement and thank them for their work in keeping Australians safe. Our thoughts are, of course, with the victims in this case. My thoughts, and I'm sure all our thoughts, are with the victims' family. I will be updating Ministerial Direction 99, as the Prime Minister has just said.
The first job is making sure that the visas which need to be cancelled are cancelled. That's my first priority. Day and night I am working on that. Day and night I am working on that. Day and night, day and night.
Yes, well, look, Giles was a refugee lawyer who was handed this immigration portfolio. He is managing it by stealth. He has not got the gall for this role. He should have been sacked months ago. And every day he remains in the job, community safety is compromised.